Hey, hi guys, this is Herbie again. Today I'm going to be going through the ITC Land Systems Counterbattery radar and the CRAM system, the Counter Rocket Artillery and Mortar system. So first of all, I'll go through the counterbattery radar. So the scenario I've got set up is there is a NATO platoon of APCs hidden in these bushes covering the valley. And a player here who I'll just make invincible so that I don't die from artillery fire. I've then got all the way over here a 2S9 CSAT 2S9 who will be firing constantly at my position. So firstly I'll go through the counterbattery radar. So the counterbattery radar you need two parts for the counterbattery radar to work. You need the siren and the radar itself. So first I'm going to press the siren, so it's in the props objects thing, and if you just type in COBRA, which stands for counterbattery radar, you've got COBRA siren and COBRA siren 2. These both work the same, but they have different alarms that sound. The COBRA siren is very loud and obvious. COBRA siren 2 is much quieter and a bit more subtle. So if you have got a scenario where it's going off all the time, COBRA siren 2 might be a bit better, but I'll use just the standard COBRA siren for now. Then in the blue form, this is where you're going to place your radar. So the radar comes under artillery, so it's the AN TPQ 105 COBRA, not the AM MPQ 105 radar. So it's the one in artillery, and it's the ITC Land COBRA. Now the important thing about placing the COBRA is that you don't place it so that it's basically covered up. So if I placed the radar here, because of these trees in front of the radar dish, that would block the radar's ability to see rounds kind of from that direction. So you'd get very little warning because you'd just hear it, or just detect the round as it's coming overhead. Similarly, if rounds were landing behind this area, in this kind of area, because the radar only looks forward, it wouldn't be detecting rounds coming here. So potentially with a radar in this location you could have a round come overhead, not be picked up because of the trees until it's directly overhead, and then by that point it's already behind the radar and impacting, so you'll have no warning. So instead I'm going to place the radar back here. The radar looks out in a 45-degree angle from the radar dish, and also kind of going up. So you make sure it's not covered, and it's got to be within 500 meters of this siren, so you can actually place them quite far away. You can place them off to the flanks. Obviously if you need full coverage of an area, you can either place it further away and you'll see rounds just as they come over, or you can place several pointing out in different directions. Okay, if I save and just load this, then we'll get just the alarm going off from the firing. And this will detect any kind of incoming round. It can also detect outgoing rounds, which is quite useful, as we'll see in a moment. So here I am in my expertly concealed position with all the lights on. Got my siren there, and I've got the radar back there. It's going to speed up. I've put a little event handler hint on the artillery so I know when it's firing. So there you go, almost immediately after it's firing, the siren has started to go off. This is the loud and obvious siren. If I then opened my FTC tablet, like so, or like so, app 2 is your counter-battery radar, and there you can see it's telling me where the impacts are going to be and how long until they impact. Once it's worked that out, so about 12 seconds behind me there will be an impact. There. You'll also see here that's the firing point and how many rounds it's fired. So far that firing point's fired 7. Yeah, that's the round that's gone behind me. One slightly irritating thing about the radar is it will now turn around to have a look at that site, or the explosion, which is a bit irritating. Another thing you can do with the COBRA radar suite is the COBRA radar suite. It's radar twice, like an ATM machine. Anyway, data view. If you click on data view, it gives you the grid reference, the 10-figure grid reference, how many shots were fired from that location and the timing of the last shot. I think they've blown something up. What you can also do is you can hit save to BCS. This will save it to your battery control system as a location. So for Counterbattery, this allows you to quickly go new fire mission, type grid, and then load a new point. Obviously I haven't set my battery up. What you can also do, and what the radar will also do, is when you fire, you'll get these crosses where your rounds are going to impact on the target, which is very useful. So you can adjust your own fires from your own radar, your own counter-battery radar. And as you can see, it's not gone particularly well for my dudes. As well, there's some dead dudes. Oh no, you're not dead, you're alive. Yeah, all in all, the siren's gone off, the siren's been destroyed. Yeah, not gone particularly well. So we need something to protect our guys. And ITC again does include this. So you can use, so I'll do it first without a radar, and I'll use first, you can just go for, if you go into turrets, the Praetorian 1C, which is the vanilla Praetorian. If I place 2 of these down, and then try it again, and then I'll place 2 ITC Land ones, because the difference between these and the ITC Land ones is the ITC Land ones have got better scripted sensors, not better scripted sensors, sorry, just better implemented sensors, so that they can be used on their own much more effectively. These pretty much require the counter-battery radar to let it know about targets. But for a start, I'll just do this as a demonstration. And then what I'll do is I'll go through, I'll show you the ITC Land ones, and then I'll show you the ITC Land ones with the accompanying radar, which will hopefully be no rounds impacting, fingers crossed. Obviously these things do just try and shoot the rounds out of the air, so they're not 100%, they're not like a shield that definitely stops rounds, but they will probably stop rounds if they're using an accompanying radar. These without an accompanying radar will probably find it very difficult to shoot down incoming rounds. So you see they're both perked up, they know there's a target out there, and at some point they should start firing. And there you go, they just start firing at the incoming munition. And you can see they're starting to shoot things out of the air, but they have kind of got rounds going everywhere. Debris falling from the and you can see they do get quite close sometimes. God. Flaming bits of 105 shell. Anyway, that's the vanilla ones. You can see all I've done is I've just placed them and they will engage incoming rounds. Now if I was to place 2 ITC Land ones, hopefully these won't have quite as alarming an effect. So these are the Praetorian 2 mod 0s rather than the Praetorian 1C. These have improved sensors, which makes them better at shooting down, especially things like missiles, faster moving targets or smaller targets such as mortars. And we'll load Livonia again. 700 wolves in Livonia. I've not seen nothing. Not seen a single damn wolf. Okay, so there you go, bits of shit flying off my APC, gosh darn it. And here are my wonderful ITC Praetorians, obviously designed to be on a ship, but you can also use them on land. So you can see these have perked up a lot quicker. And we'll hopefully start firing quicker as well. So these provide you, because they've got better sensors, they do provide you a kind of better level of protection. They're more likely to shoot incoming rounds out of the air. They engage at a longer distance, which means for faster moving weapon systems such as missiles. They can engage a bit quicker, and they've got longer to engage the target. Obviously, comparatively speaking, 105 rounds are slow, or 155mm, sorry, rounds are quite slow, obviously comparatively, compared to some missiles, but yeah. This one. Anyway, there you go. To use them, you simply place them down. If you place them with a radar, then they are do much better, because the radar is obviously helping them. To do that, you don't need to do anything apart from place the radar down. So I will now do it with a full kind of complement of radar and siren and everything, and I'll show you the COBRA Siren 2 as well, the quieter variant. I'll speed up again so that we can. Right, so you've got the alarm, much quieter, much less obvious. These again perking up very quickly because they've now got a radar that's telling them there's something coming, and waiting for it to get into a distance they can engage. Cool, well, that's it for the CRAM system. For those phalanxes, obviously they work on a boat just as well. And you've got the siren going off. So that's it for this video. These aren't the only systems you can use to shoot things down. You've got the anti-missile system as well, which I'll probably go through in a different video. If you have any other videos or any other features from ITC Land Systems or ITC Air Systems that you'd like me to go through and kind of explain in basic terms. Obviously with ITC Air Systems, that's kind of dependent on me knowing what it is and knowing how to use it myself. Check out the rest of my channel for other tutorial videos on ITC Air and ITC Land Systems with the ArmA 3 mod. There's links and stuff in the description. Right, close. Cheerio.